much about what actually happened. But yeah, I can't even imagine being strangled into unconsciousness, waking up, having someone do some horrific things here, and then for them to strangle you into unconsciousness again, and then have that happen 3 times over. It's 16 as well.
It's fucked up.
16. I mean, it's horrible at any age, but 16, you would have no idea what's going on. You wouldn't even think. At 16, I had no idea people like this even existed.
I know.
Apart from in movies and shit.
It's disgusting. Like, do you think he was doing that on purpose as well? Or do you think it was the kid just bringing himself back into consciousness? Or do you think he was just doing it on purpose to, like, bring him back and that?
I would be guessing, but I'm just assuming that he just strangled him to make him unconscious, and then just wanted to do whatever he wanted to do with him. And I think that when the kid kept waking up on his own accord, he just kept going again. Yeah, just strangle again.
Fuck.
Which makes me wonder about the other people who didn't regain consciousness. Did he just carry on with them?
Ugh.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions here that I think reveal a much darker story than what is already a fucking pitch black story in terms of darkness. So, but I definitely think there's more to this than what we know of. Zhang, the 16-year-old kid, said that at one point he did actually manage to get enough energy to start a conversation with the man before he could strangle him again. Zhang told him that he'd be happy to take care of the man and that he would live with him and stay with him until he gets old. Clever kid, right? Yeah. Sort of psychological, getting in your mind, psychological manipulation, like that girl from the Friday the 13th movie, and she sees Jason and she goes all psychological with him, pretends to be his mom and shit. Yeah, clever girl. This guy is also clever, like her. Sorry, I like it when you get people who know their shit. And I mean, it's not to say that the people didn't, but I just like it when people get one over on these fuckers. So Zhang had actually managed to confuse the man so much that he actually kept him alive for days. He was even feeding him instant noodles, which is pretty much our diet anyway. The only problem was, though, that even though he wasn't killing him, the assaults were still continuing, which... it's horrible enough, but at least, he kept himself alive. He was a fighter. He was a fucking fighter.
Still mentally scarring him.
Oh, for a 16-year-old child to go through this, 1,000,000%. The therapy that you'd have to go through for that. Ugh. The man apparently would often pace back and forth, mumbling, "Kill, don't kill, kill, don't kill, kill, don't kill."
Oh.
And then, seemingly, the man let Zhang go free. Of course, he made a run for it. I think he just released him and expected him to stay in the house like he had promised him. And but then he, as you fucking would, made a dash straight for the door. I'm out of here. So, after describing this obviously horrific story in detail to the police, can you guess what the police officers did at this point now?
To be fair, all I can think is just that he didn't do anything, but surprised me.
The police officers laughed, and Zhang was advised to go home because the police reported that they believed the story was just a prank. Sick prank, bro. Sick prank.
But
it's just a prank.
His body, though?
Yeah, I think it was bullshit. They reported, obviously, they reported later on that they believed it was a prank, and that's why they sent him home. So, that's, in retrospect, they're saying that. And I think they said that to let themselves off the hook. I think at the moment in time, they laughed, they didn't give a fuck, they just didn't want to do any work, they were just sat there chilling out, picking their assholes, and just sent that poor kid who had just been fucking traumatized and fought his way out of a terrifying situation, sent him pedaling off back home alone. When obviously questioned later about it, I think they tried to save their own asses. and said, "Well, we thought it was a prank." I think that was probably an excuse. I think
was
they
he
were just
alright,
being
though, the kid?
assholes. Yeah, this is how we know all this because he.
Yeah, but I don't know if he...
Yeah, we'll
Sorry.
We'll get into more of this. Luckily, Zhang's escape, give or take a couple of weeks, did coincide with the return of that group of parents who came back from Beijing. And he obviously told his parents, told people about it, aside from the police. So people knew about his story apart from the police, and they knew the police weren't doing fuck all. But with the parents coming back from Beijing and his story combined, and the people getting more and more pissed off, and rightly so, the pressure was now on. And the police actually called Zhang back for a full testimony and also wanted to know the location of the house he was taken to. So finally, they're actually kind of doing the job they're paid to do.
It's so fucking annoying, though, that...
It takes that much.
It takes that much for parents to go to the capital, go to the government, just to do that. To just go and investigate. To do their job anyway.
That they're fucking paid to do.
Fuck.
On November 12th, 2003, the police stormed Huang Yong's home, and after a 3-year free run of killing, he was finally arrested. At his home, police found Huang's God of Riding machine. That's what he called his little thing. That was the real God of Riding game. It was covered in blood, feces, and semen. In his yard, there were bodies of numerous young men, aged all between 15 to 21. So he was going young with these guys. A collection of belts were also found, seemingly trophies of each of his victims. Official reports stated the body count to be 17, but Huang Yong is adamant that he actually killed at least 25. A story that was corroborated and confirmed by his final victim, Zhang, who confirmed that Huang had told him while he was captive that he was going to be number 26. So Zhang says, look, he told me I was going to be number 26. There's more than 17 here.
Again, is that the police lying?
I think so. I think it's either the police lying to make it look as if the crime wasn't as horrific, which I don't get the logic, because 17 people is still fucking horrible.
Yeah.
But I just feel they were trying to definitely water this down a little bit. They're trying to dilute it. Sort of, so it's bad, but it's not as bad as what it actually fucking was. I don't know. Whether or not the real number was 25 or not, at the trial, the courts accepted the prosecutor's statement that Huang Yong had killed just 17 young men. The story had garnered mass attention from the public, and rightly so. So much so that over 2,000 local residents gathered outside the courtroom, and there were even loudspeakers installed outside so that everyone could hear what was going on.
As if.
Which is unique. I've never really heard of that before.
No, I haven't.
While the crowds raged outside, inside the courtroom, family members of Huang's victims also found the ordeal far too much to handle. Victims' families began to hurl themselves towards Huang, trying to attack him. Things got so bad that at one point Huang had to be taken out of the room to prevent what was thought to become a potential riot. Once the trial was able to continue, the judge provided the final verdict. On December 9th, 2003, Huang Yong was sentenced to death. On December 26th, that same year, at 10:26 p.m, Huang Yong was led outside of the prison, where he'd take his final breath in front of a firing squad. 300 people, made up of the victim's friends and relatives, would be looking on, content in the knowledge that the children of Henan province would once again be able to live in peace. And that, my friends, is the story of Huang Yong, a.k.a. the fucking asshole. He's a fucking asshole. What can I say?
That story's got me really frustrated, not just because of him, but because of the police as well.
The police, yeah. Yes, the police. Yeah, again, it's different because in the other stories we feel that, or at least I feel, that the police don't do stuff because it's either gay people they're talking about, lesbian people talking about, homeless people, sex workers, people who are seen then lesser in their eyes. But for these are just lazy fucking police people who don't seem to want to do any work, right?
Again, they might be doing work, but they've just the media,
tell anyone.
Yeah.
But if they were doing an investigation, why would the people have to get together and then go up to the government to do it? If there was no signs of it, I mean, surely an investigation would involve speaking to victims' families more, or asking where their last whereabouts were. So, unless they were mind readers, they couldn't have been doing an investigation. At least a good investigation.
Yeah.
If they weren't interviewing people or going to see people at the local arcades and things, you know, and I'm assuming that news would get around pretty quick if people were being questioned.
I feel sorry for like the people, like the accounted for 17, but there's the other people as well that could potentially have been there and they've just not been acknowledged. Yeah. Again,
because I think. Do you agree that I think they were trying to dilute this whole situation?
No,
less, which is fucked up.
But still, it's still...
Yeah, because they should tell... I don't know how they work. Maybe their country works differently.
Yeah.
Maybe their people don't want to see every name of every victim in the newspaper and, you know, the RIP and, you know, maybe that's not what they do. Maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Because for us, we think it's like respectful to have everyone's name out there and to give them the acknowledgement and give them the time of day and let everyone know that they were a part of this terrible tragedy and we can also celebrate their life. But maybe the Chinese don't do it that way. Maybe they just they like a bit more privacy.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. At least he got fucking shot anyway. I mean, I'm not for the death penalty, but again, because of it can be so manipulated and corrupted and fingered with. But when it's so clear, like it's like, yeah, get rid, man. Just get rid.
When all the evidence points towards them and they've done so many heinous, like so many horrible acts.
Heinous would be the word. I appreciate the word heinous. Reminds you of
I
Bill
said
and
it in
Ted.
the wrong way though, so that's why I stopped it.
Heinous. So every episode we like to do 3 things. First one, of course, I'd like to be able to mention the names of the victims and things, but just in general, just condolences to friends, families, and the victims themselves.
Yeah.
These people, as a lot, these people have been in most of these stories far too young to be taken off this earth. Probably had a whole plethora of exciting, wonderful things ahead of them, which, thanks to this dickhead, was taken away. It's not very far. So yeah, condolences to them. Hopefully they've been able to move on and have some sort of normality in their life, especially Zhang. Zhang. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. I'm probably not. But I hope he's moved on with his life and done something super cool.
Yeah.
Super cool. Second of all, heroes. Are we
the parents
talking the people? Yeah, the people. The people. Power to the people, we say. There's been a good few stories we spoke about where the people have been the main heroes, right?
Definitely.
People. And again, anyone listening, if you see something wrong, do something about it. If you think something's a little bit fishy, do something about it. Because it seems to prove very effective. Because a lot of the time you can't trust... I'm not bad-mouthing the police because I know the police are very good at it. And the job is extremely hard. I'm not saying that, but in these specific situations... sometimes you can't always rely on the people you think you can, so try and do something. I'm not talking about vigilantism or whatever it's called. Don't go out fucking trying to kick ass and shit. But if you see something wrong or you feel something's wrong, do something about it. Go to the police first. If you don't feel like you can get the right answer, take it higher. Escalate that shit, bitch. Definitely don't become a vigilante, though. As cool as that probably would be. Don't do it.
Don't turn into the next Batman.
Batman, no. No, 'cause he's like a billionaire. I doubt most people listening have...
Alright, Robin then.
He has to have sex with a billionaire. And don't tell me they didn't fuck, because they got down and dirty in the Batcave. They fucked in the Batcave.